Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Kentucky family in Florida is waiting out the storm with claims of feeling safer at home. And officials want you to be safe outdoors as more folks begin to hunt.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. We are coming up on 5 o'clock this Wednesday morning. The time is now 5 o'clock and today is October 8th. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at your forecast. Megan, how's it looking out there? I mean, when I was on the way here, I was dealing with the fog.
Yeah, luckily though today overall won't be too bad with fog, but yeah, fog this morning wasn't the best, but as we continue throughout the day, this fog will be lighting up. But for right now, we're looking at the area, and if you're in Harlan, Manchester, or Williamsburg, you're seeing some of that fog. Hazard had it a little bit ago, but overall, most of the visibility will be 10 plus miles this morning. And as we go into our high temperatures today, once the fog finally goes away, we'll be getting into the low 70s. Some areas getting into the mid 70s, even Jackson and Irvin potentially getting up to that 75-degree mark. If we go through the next 12 hours, though, overall, it's going to be a nice day, sunny skies throughout every single hour of the day, and we have no chance for rain at all in the forecast. So it'll be a good morning. Sunrise at 7:36 a.m. and I'll have the ARH 7-day forecast in a couple of minutes.
All right, Megan, thank you. And today is October 9th, excuse me. The American Red Cross is calling for volunteers as Hurricane Milton approaches after the devastation of Hurricane Helen. Right now, more than 2,000 volunteers are helping out, including nearly 30 from Kentucky. More than 500 are in Florida and another 400 are on the way. The Red Cross is offering virtual Heroes Needed training for people interested in sheltering and logistics roles.
You don't have to be anything more than a caring heart that wants to show compassion to people.
Volunteers should be ready to deploy within days with a 2-week commitment. The organization covers transportation, lodging, and meals.
Hurricane Helene was a warning. This one, I think the gravity of it is a lot stronger.
Hurricane Milton is barreling towards Florida with the promise of devastating storm surge, heavy rains, and damaging winds. Around 14 counties in the state are under some sort of evacuation order.
This time, there's no joking about it. Everyone is solemn.
But for 2 native Kentuckians, now Florida residents, they've made the decision to hunker down and stay through the storm.
I feel safe here in our home, also because we were tracking where it was supposed to hit.
Angie Roworth is from London, Kentucky, and now currently resides in the Tampa Bay area, where mandatory evacuation orders have been put in place.
It's hard to leave your home not knowing what it's going to be like when you come back. So sounds simple. People think you just hop in the car and okay, goodbye. And I used to think that too when I would hear that living in Kentucky. Oh, everybody should just leave their home when they're in Florida. But it's a very difficult decision to make.
For many choosing to stay, like Angie, as well as Lexington native Dana Fritz, it's about fully being prepared.
So we're preparing for the heavy winds. So my house, I have 20 sandbags, 4 quick dams, and windows have been shattered.
Traffic was terrible, even on the little road that we traveled on. The interstate has a lot of traffic, and even the hotels further in are starting to fill up with people evacuating.
And for folks like Angie and Dana, with gas shortages, traffic, and limited hotel access, they claim to feel safer staying put in their homes for now.
Feel pretty safe. That could be famous last words. I don't know.
If you were to evacuate 2 days ago or even left yesterday, I think it would have been fine. But at this point, I would not risk being stuck on the interstate.
For WKYT, I'm First Alert meteorologist Alexa Minton.
Dana and Angie both say they have gathered plenty of food, water, and other essentials to ride out the storm. Donations collected in Jenkins for people impacted by Hurricane Helene are now in North Carolina and Tennessee. Several loads of donations were filled throughout the week. A group of volunteers connected with a group in Kingsport, Tennessee that is distributing those items. Organizer Chris Anderson says it means a lot to see how folks impacted by flooding more than 2 years ago are now returning the favor.
You know, seeing that church's recreation building filled with the donations that we helped collect, you know, I took a Kentucky state flag with us down there, and I didn't do that as a, you know, any kind of dig or anything like that, but I wanted to show those folks what Eastern Kentuckians are made of, and the love that Eastern Kentuckians have for, you know, for everybody, no matter what state flag you're under.
Anderson says they are pausing the collection of donations to shift into long-term plans for folks in need. Appalachian Regional Healthcare is collecting supplies for those affected by Hurricane Helene. If you want to contribute by donating, you still have time to do so. ARH will continue to collect supplies for Helene victims until Friday. You can go to the lobby of any ARH location and drop off items from 8 in the morning until 5 in the evening. Canned food, baby care items, and water can be accepted. A deadly helicopter crash in Owen County is still under investigation after 3 people were killed. Gail Ailman, Bethany Eichen, and James Welsh died when their air evac helicopter crashed Monday. Investigators were back on the scene yesterday to figure out what caused the crash. Kentucky State Police are handling the death investigation, while federal agencies like the FAA focuses on the crash itself. The Estill County Sheriff was awarded the Humane Society of the United States Law Enforcement Award for working to defeat animal cruelty. Even though it is not usually the sheriff's job to protect animals, Sheriff Chris Flynn has stepped up to the plate in Estill County. Todd Blevins, Kentucky State Director of the United States Humane Society, says Sheriff Flynn's office has made it known they take animal cruelty seriously.
We felt it was only the right thing to do to recognize all that good work with this award.
Last year, Sheriff Flynn shut down a puppy mill operation. He has also taken pets to be spayed and neutered in order to prevent overpopulation. Hunting season and forest fire season began earlier this month. Neely Green spoke with a Kentucky Fish and Wildlife official about the seasons.
In Kentucky, hunting season is open for certain kinds of animals. When hunting, it is important to keep safety tips in mind.
Wear hunter orange. The hunter orange needs to be visible from your head, your front, and your back from all sides.
Game Warden Kyle Clark says it is vital to be mindful when handling guns.
Treat all guns as if they're loaded. Make sure that you unload guns when you're transporting them.
October is also the start of forest fire season. There are bans in place that will run until December 15th.
One of those is you can't burn outside of the designated time, which is 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Clark says to be mindful of the environment while burning.
Be cautious of dry leaves and where the flames might go in the wind.
He says knowing how to keep yourself and others safe is a top priority during hunting and forest fire season. In Whitesburg, Neely Green, WYMT Mountain News.
For more information about hunting and fire seasons, you can visit our website, WYMT.com. Thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. When we return, women, it's never too early for mammograms as more statistics show an alarming increase in breast cancer.
I'll have some information on the hurricane going to Tampa and the ARH forecast in just a couple of minutes.